than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Well, hi everyone, welcome. Hi friends. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. This is episode 208. I've done 207 episodes. Amazing. So when I first decided to do this show, I wanted to do a daily show. I wanted to talk to one person that could change your life, that you would be interested in. I wanted it to be no more than 30 minutes, and that was the goal. And that was last June. And then in November, I joined the wonderful, wonderful PodMatch website. This has been my goal my entire life, is to have a show like this and to make a living off of it, which, full transparency, I am not. But if you'd like to help me do that, go to buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher and support the show that way. I would love you to do that. That'd be great. I'd love to go get groceries this weekend. But anyway, so PodMatch pays hosts to interview their people. And so I thought, great, I'm going to sign up for that. That'll be great. Well, the response was overwhelming. And in November and December, we pre-recorded hundreds of interviews. Now, when you watch the show now, right now as it is, the first guest is usually a pre-recorded interview, and then the second guest is live. Because we started doing that in January, because I had so many people signed up for interviews and so many interviews already recorded, and it was becoming a little chaotic. There was a lot of editing time, and I thought, okay, well, we'll just expand it. It'll be really fun. And we'll have 2 people every day, which is fine and great. And I've had so much fun. And I love when a guest goes, oh, I saw your other guest. I love their book. I'm going to do this. Can't wait. Everything kind of, it all, whatever. I also selfishly thought, well, if one person gets, 1,000 views, 2 guests would mean that our views are going to double, right? Is there let's see, do I have a, yeah, that's not what happened. And now that we've been doing great. We have the first 3 months of 2025. We've had like 75, sometimes 80,000 views every month. It has been fantastic. Maybe that is the 2 people. I'm not sure. Anyway, the point is that I really want to keep it to a succinct show under 30 minutes that you can just watch during your lunch break. And so starting Monday, we're going to go back to 1 interview a day. And a lot of them are going to be live. Some of them are going to be pre-recorded. It's going to be a little mix, but they're all great interviews. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to be here live every day with you regardless. So that's kind of our new programming plan. So starting Monday, we're going back to 1 guest. We had with 3 months, January, February, and March, of doing 2 guests. And I think it has been great. It's also a lot of time after the shows to edit, make clips, and all that stuff. So we're going to go back to that. And again, if you'd like to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher and help me with the dream of making this something that is sustainable. All right, that's it. Hey, speaking of fun, sustainable things, I'm helping this afternoon with a pilot episode to a new podcast for a local, can't talk about it yet because it's not an approved podcast. It's for a local community, a city. And so, we've got lots of red tape to go through and people need to approve and all those things, but we're recording the pilot episode today. So I'm very excited about that. I get to do that after this. What a great Friday, right? And that's it. We have 2 amazing guests today. David's here. Dr. Ruth Roberts is here. And so I think I should shut up and we should go, because My first guest has been right at the heart of our democratic process during some truly pivotal times. David Maeda served as the Director of Elections for the Minnesota Secretary of State from 2019 to 2024, navigating the serious questions surrounding our democracy. But David's story is also a deeply personal one as he shares his lifelong struggles with mental health and the ways he's coped through his love of music, cats, and friends, all in his recently published memoir, This Is Not Who We Are, that shot to #1 on Amazon. Please say hello to David Maeda. Well, David, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, and thank you. I'm really honored to be a guest on your show.
Well, I'm excited to have you because I know I'm going to learn a lot today from you, and so is everybody else, and I think that's very important. Can you tell everybody, first of all, what a U.S. election administrator even is?
So elections in the United States don't just happen. There are actually people that do the work behind the scenes to make sure that you have a polling place to go to, that there are people working at the polling place, that there are ballots available for you to vote on. It's a year-round process for many of us. I'm the state election director for the state of Minnesota, and in that capacity, our office leads our 87 counties and our thousands of cities and townships into running the elections in the state of Minnesota, including at the local level for city council and mayor, school board members. There are all types of elections that go on all the time. So our office is basically in charge of making sure people are registered to vote. They understand the rules and the laws around elections, and that their voting experience is secure and also uneventful, hopefully.
Yes, in the best possible way. Is this a full-time position?
My job is a full-time position, yes. Our 87 counties also have somebody that's required to be trained in elections. And again, for them, it's usually the county auditor. So they have things like property taxes that they're working on along with elections. So full-time elections, like the city of Minneapolis and Minnesota has full-time election staff. So the larger jurisdictions actually do. And everyone that works in our office is a full-time, full year-round elections official.
Okay. When did you get into politics?
Basically, it was totally an accident. I kind of just fell into this line of work, but my first election was in 1996. I started in the job. It was with one of our counties in the metro area. I started in the job in July, and we had a state primary in September. And if I have any lesson to share with people coming into this business, don't do that. Learn
Don't.
the laws before you actually start jumping into the water, because it was
Uh-huh.
the cliche of drinking water from a fire hose, definitely.
But I mean, you were obviously captivated by it and hooked.
Yes, it's very rewarding work. I mean, the cliche is we are the guardian democracy. I mean, elections don't run in this country unless there are people to run them, as I mentioned before. And it's, I mean, to think of the importance of the work has been why I've stuck with it all my career.
Hmm. I mean, you said that you kind of stumbled into it on accident. What did you want to be when you were a kid when you grew up?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be two things. One of them became very unrealistic. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. It was about fifth or sixth grade. I determined I wasn't going to be talented enough to be a Major League Baseball player. The other thing I've always been interested in is being a writer. The goal of my life has always been to write something that will change the world. I don't know if that's a realistic dream either, but I've done a lot of writing in my life. I really wanted growing up to be a newspaper reporter.
Ah, well, that's a great segue into why you're really here, which is your book, This Is Not Who We Are. So you've got the author thing down now, Pat, and you could say that you're an author. Can you tell everybody about the book?
So my book is a memoir, and it chronicles different parts of my life. It's basically broken into 6 sections. The first is my career in elections and how I actually got into it and what it means to be an election official. The second chapter, I've struggled with major depression almost my entire life. So I write about my struggles with mental health. The third, I'm a big cat guy. I've had, I think, up now 8 cats in my life. I live with 3 of them currently. So the third chapter or section is about all the first 6 cats I lived with and my experiences with them. The fourth chapter is about a very important relationship in my life. The fifth chapter is about my childhood memories, and the sixth is life since 2020. Both personally and professionally, the profession of election officials has been really under attack since 2020, when some people believe that the 2020 election wasn't fair or secure. So I kind of write about the changing atmosphere in working in elections since 2020.
I mean, the real question is, how many cats have you had at one time?
So the most I've had is three, and I should tell you the story and how I landed on three. I currently have three, but so my very first cat was a solo cat. I had him for about 12 years when he passed away. And when he died, like many cat or probably every pet owner, I was devastated. It was really hard not having him around. So I thought I'd get two cats to fill his shoes, because if one cat died, I would always have another cat around. And that was my great idea. And then it occurred to me, I found two cats that really bonded and got along well. So I thought, well, when one of them dies, the other's going to be as devastated as me. So let's get a third cat. So we always have two cats. I got a third. I mean, this is how people end up with like 45 cats. You make excuses to bring another one into your.
That's funny. I grew up with cats. I've always had cats. This is kind of the first time in my life, the last couple of years, that I haven't had cats. And I think cats get such a bad rap sometimes because people are afraid of them and they think that they have no personalities. But they are also individualistic, and most of them are so affectionate.
Absolutely, that's a great point. I mean, not to sell my memoir, but the part about cats really shows how their personalities are very different and how I interacted differently after I learned what their personalities were. So every cat I've ever met has a very unique personality.
What I mean, because obviously the memoir goes through a lot of different phases in your life, different things, work, personal life. What made you decide to start writing the book?
So it really started with the elections portion. I thought people don't know what this profession is. I'll educate people and write a book about elections. When I started to write that part, it really dawned on me I didn't have enough for to keep people's interest for an entire book. That's when I read Bob Dylan's memoir Chronicles, and I kind of copied mine after his. He did 5 sections of his life, different parts of his life, and put it into one memoir. And that's kind of how he came up with the idea on how to do mine. It didn't really dawn on me that there were connected tissue or common themes with all 6 of my sections, but it really came out when I was writing that the depression piece, mental health, has really been a challenge in all. I mean, I have cats to help me deal with some of my mental health issues. As an example, I do my writing to help me connect my feelings and my thoughts. The other major thing that kind of surprised me is I'm a Japanese American. I'm a third generation Japanese American, and my father's family was one of 120,000 Japanese Americans that were interned during World War II. And I've always thought, how did that impact me as his son? And it really kind of came out in the memoir that being Japanese American has played a major part of my identity that I didn't always consciously think about.
How was it to go kind of relive some of those things and really dive deep into that and open yourself up to put it out for public display like that, especially things like your mental health, which are so personal and oftentimes kind of looked down on and hidden.
It was, I mean, parts of it were really painful to write. I mean, the example I'll give is when my cats died. Write about my cat and then come to the point in where he passes away. I mean, those sections literally brought me to tears when I was writing them.
Yeah.
As far as sharing it with the world, I think the chapter about the relationship that's really important to me. It's an intimate relationship, and I really get specific about how we met and how we created this space where we could share everything together. And that kind of drove the rest of the memoir. I felt like if I was going to share that amount of detail about one of my relationships, everything was fair game. And I was going to try to be as authentic and share my true self as I could. And that's kind of what drove me to write the memoir.
How do you feel now that it's out there? I suppose relief.
It's a little scary because one of the things I wrote about in the childhood memory is I had a huge crush on a girl from 8th grade through senior high, and it was unrequited. And she probably didn't even know I had these deep feelings for her. But I wrote about why she meant so much to me, and she really was my first muse, the first person I really wrote a lot about. Um, but just by happenstance, in August, we ran into each other for the first time since we graduated 40 years ago,
Wow.
and we ended up going for coffee. I didn't tell her she's in the memoir until afterwards, but I mean, it will be there are things in the memoir where I describe relationships, so it's going to be kind of nothing negative, but it'll be kind of interesting to see how those people respond to what I wrote.
Does it make you want to write again now that it's out there?
Yeah, I think after I finished writing this, and once it was really close to being published, it really occurred to me I don't have a lot more to share that I think is relevant for people. And then this past year has really been a struggle. And I don't really want to talk about it, but there was challenges in getting it published um, that really took a toll on my mental health because I really wanted to get the book out there, and I was told I couldn't. So I had to clear some hurdles to get it published. And that story in itself, and the one I just shared about running into this old crush of mine, things have happened since I've finished the book that I think deserve a sequel.
Good. What do you love most about your life right now?
Well, I'm kind of winding down my career and looking forward to the next phase of my life. So I really hope to clear up some time to do a lot more writing. Um,
Mm,
I enjoy my cats. I'm a big Timberwolves basketball fan and Minnesota Twins baseball fan. I have season tickets to both. I'm really big into music. Seen some really good shows this year. So life pretty much is good at this point. I'm really looking forward to the next phase of being retired.
good. Good. That's amazing. When I fly back, I'm originally from Wisconsin. So when I fly back, I have to fly into Minneapolis and then drive 4 hours to where I grew up. So next time I fly in, we should go get coffee.
Well, that would be great. Unless you're a Packers fan, then I don't know if we have a lot to talk about.
I could care less about the Packers, so we're good. But I do like good coffee, so you have to make sure you pick out a good coffee shop.
We can do that.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and putting it all out there for people. Go get the book. This is Not Who We Are, available on Amazon or your local bookstore. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Richard. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too. We will be right back with holistic pet health coach Dr. Roberts right after this. Don't go away. Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well-being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co. Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is a veterinarian on a mission to change the way we care for our pets. Dr. Ruth Roberts recognized early in her career that there was more to pet health than just treating symptoms. She's dedicated her life to empowering pet owners with the knowledge and tools they need to provide proactive care, ensuring their furry companions thrive for years to come. Please welcome Dr. Ruth Roberts. Well, Dr. Ruth Roberts, thank you so much for being here.
It is my pleasure. I'm so happy to be with you today.
Well, I'm excited. And who else do we have there?
That's Hi-O. So you have to be a punster to get it and actually old enough to remember the Lone Ranger. So he said, she's a silver poodle, and he always said, Hi-O, Silver, away! Yeah, you tell him.
See? She loves it, yes. What kind of dog is it?
She is a silver poodle. She just has
A
having a
silver
bad hair day. Yes.
She's a little grumpy today. She's got things to say. She's very excited to be on camera.
Indeed.
When did you get so interested in pets and animals?
Oh, when I was a kid. I mean, so 6, 7, 8. I mean, the dog and the cats we had, they were my best friends. And, like many people, I had the experience of when I felt like nobody else was listening, the cat was listening.
What was your first pet? Do you remember? Was it a dog or a cat?
The very first pet was a Cocker Spaniel named Winnie, and she was in the house when I was probably 3 years old. And I vaguely remember her. I remember seeing pictures of her more than anything else. There's plenty of
Gotta get
pictures
that
of me laying on a baby blanket with Winnie and also my great aunt's dog.
Oh, that's so cute. Have you, what's like, do you have a crazy pet that you've ever had, or have you been mostly dogs and cats?
A crazy pet. I had a one-legged duck who was a
Oh.
Muscovy duck named Emphysema, because that's what that's what she sounded like. I had goats. We had some geese. I had a swan briefly. We were rehabbing,
Wow.
and then we're able to release her to her permanent location with a lovely large lake.
So I love your pet names. I love everything about that. You need a little podcast just about pet names, I think. I love creative pet names could be kind of your niche in the podcast world. Can you tell
Right on.
everybody though about your life as a holistic pet health coach?
So I started out just as a conventional veterinarian, and in 2005 started studying traditional Chinese veterinary medicine and functional medicine in 2012. Sold my last brick and mortar practice in 2016. Started traveling, doing one-to-one consultations, and during the pandemic, what I realized is that people were having a really hard time accessing care. And in terms of conventional veterinary medicine and especially in holistic veterinary medicine. And what I realized is that we could use the human model of health coaching and teach people, lay people, to be pet health coaches. And in doing so, what they're supporting pet parents to learn how to do is lifestyle medicine. And that includes things like diet, fresh food diets, learning how to take out foods that may be problematic, learning how to create a supplement program that's very effective and you don't have the 27 supplements for your pet. And so really what I've been doing in the last 2.5 years is training people to be holistic pet health coaches. And it has truly been the honor of my career. We're up to 90 graduates, and we have another 75 students enrolled currently.
Oh my gosh, in 2.5 years. That's obviously there was a need. What have you heard from the people going through this program?
The vast majority of the time, what they're saying is it has been life-changing. And this is part of why it brings me so much happiness, because I'm hearing women saying, I didn't think I could get through this program, but you taught me that I am capable of so much more. And ultimately, what's happening is pets are being helped that otherwise wouldn't have been helped in terms of getting through chronic disease. And, that's the thing in conventional medicine, we don't have very many good solutions for chronic disease, for kidney disease, cancer, autoimmune disease, all those horrible things. But this is where lifestyle medicine and personalized, and really it's really lifestyle coaching and personalized coaching can really dramatically shift the experience that the pet and the pet parent are having.
I was literally yesterday just having a conversation with my friend whose dog just went through cancer surgery. And, afterward they were going through all the different treatments, and you can do this and you can do that. And they were like, it's so hard because you can't have a conversation with your pet of like, what are you up to? What do you think you can
What do you
handle?
think about all this?
Yeah, yes. And where do you actually hurt? And where, what do you want to do about all of this? And that's so overwhelming for pet owners, because you want to do what's best, and sometimes you just don't know what that is.
Exactly. And that's precisely where this coaching approach becomes really useful, because you can finally sit down with somebody that understands the diagnosis that your pet received and help you walk through that and break down, okay, this is typically what happens with these conventional methods. Here are some other things that we can do that will help your pet feel better. And many of my coaches are actually animal communicators. So we can ask your pet, what do you think about all this? And how do you feel? And where do we need to go? So I think this has been such a huge, huge help for pet parents to know what to do in a crazy, crazy, scary, trying time.
Hmm. Yes, because it can be also, it can be very expensive. Pet healthcare can be so expensive that, you have to figure all of that out for yourself, for the pet, what's best for both of you. It can
Yeah.
be so tough.
It is hard, and I think that's one of the things that is frustrating so many pet parents right now is they may spend $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. They still don't have answers, and the pet's not better, which is worse.
Yeah.
So this is a way to, I mean, I'd love to say that the coaches can fix everything, but at the very least, they will give you the power to make more informed choices for your
Mm.
pet and give you tools that you can massively improve the quality of life for your pet.
Oh, I love that. How do people, if they want to go through that coaching, how do people sign up to do that?
It's super easy. You just go to holisticpethealthcoach.com and there'll be some information there where you can learn about the program. You drop your email, your phone number, and we'll get you some more detailed information and help you learn how to apply. And then you can have a discovery call to see if this is the right next step for you.
Okay, good.
And
What
then
are
for pet
some,
parents
oh,
that
yeah.
need, yeah, sorry,
Oh,
for
no, no.
pet parents that need a coach, if you go to drruthroberts.com and click on Find a Coach, that's the fastest way for you to get the information you need
Okay.
to figure out which coach is going to be the right person to work with.
And I'm assuming your network is all of the people who have gone through the coaching, which I'm guessing is from all over the world.
At this point, yes. So we have
Yeah.
most of our students are in the US and Canada, but we do have students in the UK, in Estonia, in El Salvador, and Mexico, and France.
I mean, you've been doing this for, you said 2.5 years, 3 years ago. What if someone would have said this is what you would be doing? What would you have said?
I wouldn't have believed it, but this
Yeah.
truly was born out of necessity. I mean, the
Mm.
heartbreak that people were experiencing during the pandemic was just absurd. And really, this is where the program was born. I had a client with a 15-year-old Westie that had a myriad of health problems. And she walked in to see an internal medicine specialist she'd been working with for literally years. And the internal medicine specialist fired her. And she
Wow.
said, "Oh gosh, Rosie's kidney disease has really progressed, and I think your next best step is euthanasia." And in reality, what had happened was Rosie's creatinine, a measure of kidney function had gone up very, very slightly. So I was able to help my client find another internist, and working together, we were able to help Rosie live another year. And I mean,
Amazing.
that was so heartbreaking because that
Yeah.
was happening. People were euthanizing their animals prematurely because they had no other options.
Yeah, it probably, who knows how many times a day that actually happens. I would, because you'd
With
feel
more
like, yeah.
frequency than I care to think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to go down that route today because
Yeah.
so it's too early in the
'Cause
morning for that. Uh,
right on.
yeah. What are some common chronic diseases that we should be aware of?
Well, I mean, one of the most common ones is skin disease, allergies, itchies, uh, GI problems, inflammatory bowel disease or syndrome is extremely common, uh, kidney disease, liver disease, autoimmune disease, cancer, kind of anything you can think of that we experience on the human side, we're seeing in our dogs and cats as well, sadly.
Mm. There's a whole shift, and I don't know if what your answer is for this, or if you have like a whole shift now in the food that we are feeding. Everyone goes to the grocery store and they get their dry food, and we've been doing that for however many decades, and a whole shift. I know lots of people who are now feeding their dog food that they make themselves. They're eating raw diets. They're eating vegan diets. What's your take on all of that whole shift?
Absolutely necessary. I mean,
Mhm.
really, whole food diets are what's going to be the number one thing every coach starts with. And in practice, this is what I saw shift the health of these chronically ill pets from
Mhm.
really, feeling cruddy to feeling so much better. So I developed something called the original crock pet diet, which is a batch recipe you can make just to make it easy. Because if you can do it once a week, once a month, then you will do it consistently. Versus if you're
Mhm.
trying to get your head wrapped around, oh my God, I don't cook for myself. How am I going to cook for my dog every day?
Yeah.
So I think that is absolutely critical.
I love the crock pet diet. I love the title of that. You and your names. I'm telling you, you've got a whole career just based on naming things.
I come from
What
a
about
long family of punsters.
I love it. I think another thing that people would maybe get nervous about is the cost of making your own food. I have a 95-pound Great Pyrenees. Um, and although she eats a ton of the dry and canned food as well, so it probably is cheaper to make her food.
It may be. It gets tougher with the really large breed dogs because they do eat so much. But
Yeah.
what we would include in the recipe are beans and grains. And so you can use those to help kind of give calories for fuel, if you will, and then keep the cost reasonable. But for the average, sort of 30 to 50-pound dog or smaller, obviously, you actually save money by home cooking. And ultimately, you can have infinite variety in doing so.
And where can people get the crock pet diet?
If you head over to drruthroberts.com,
Good.
it's there under our courses. Yeah.
I love that. What are some actionable steps for pet longevity that you can give us?
There's 4 C's I want you to think about. The first one is calm. If you will take 3 minutes a day, put your phone in airplane mode, go outside with your dog and just be. That will help you and your dog drop from a sympathetic fight or flight state into the parasympathetic rest and digest state.
Mm.
The second C is to cavort. We know on the human side that exercise does all sorts of things for us in terms of moving lymphatic flow, improving immune function, improving gut function, on and on and on. So for our pets as well. The third C is clean, meaning clean water. There is a lot of yucky stuff in our water. And so, if at minimum you get a Brita filter and filter out chlorine, you're steps ahead of the game. Even
Mm.
better would be a filter that takes out heavy metal cysts and all these other yucky toxins that are out there. And then the fourth C is to cook. If you cook or feed your pet raw, whole food diets, you're going to dramatically improve their health span.
Wow. I mean, it all seems, even simple things like a Brita filter, like just
To start
things that you
somewhere,
probably have. Yeah, that's so smart. So smart. What do you love most about your life right now?
that I can educate people, elevate their ability to serve others, and travel. So I'm a nomad or a slow mad. My wife and I sold everything in 2018. We've been traveling since then. Right now, I'm in Mexico, which is amazing. Hayo has seen more flights than most people, and she's seen a lot of Mexico and a lot of the EU. So that has been a real gift. After 30 years of being chained to a building in my brick and mortar practice, to the
Mhm.
ability to travel and still serve is just been, ah, I can't tell you how much of a
Yeah.
gift this has been.
Is she a good traveler?
She is amazing, absolutely amazing. She is There's a really funny video of her sitting in her backpack rolling through the airport in Mexico City, and she's just like, she gets on the plane, she just passes out, and she is an amazing traveler.
That's so sweet. Did you just have one pet?
We do now. When we started traveling, we had a dachshund and a cat. Our cat Pepe unfortunately died about 2.5 years ago at 14. Our dachshund Mona died about 3 years ago at 16. And that's when Hayo actually had started living with us. When my mom was no longer able to care for her, she started traveling with us, and she's been on the road ever since.
Living the life.
Yes.
I love that. What's the best way that people can connect with you and follow you?
I'm on all the social media channels. And then if you've got questions about your pets, what you need help with, just reach out to drruthroberts.com. There's a little chat button, and my staff will be able to help you find solutions.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited because I learned. I love this is why I love this show, because I get to learn and I get to now implement stuff in my life with my dog. I'm excited to make her life better.
That's so awesome. And
Thank
I'm
you
happy
so
to
much.
support you in any way that I can.
I appreciate it. Go to drruthroberts.com. Go get the Crock Pet Diet. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Thank you. Are you tired of the same old drinks? Let your taste buds travel. Honkaku Spirits delivers authentic Japanese spirits right to your door. From family distilleries in southern Japan, they bring you exquisite small batch shochu, awamori, koji whiskey, and gin. It's more than a drink, it's a journey to Japan in every sip. Discover your new favorite spirit at honkaku.com and enjoy free US shipping on any order. Thanks for sponsoring the show, Honkaku Spirits. I'm happy to say that there's a 150-pound Great Dane sitting in front of this desk that has not made any noise but a little snoring. Success for a Friday. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. Remember, if you want to help support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher and help us continue bringing you amazing people every day. We'll be back on Monday with an all new episode. So we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.